Vaughn, how do you feel about the recent murder of Alex Pretti? And we will say his name, Alex Pretti, um, by ICE.
What I feel about this is that we need to abolish ICE and use Article 2, Section 4 of the U.S. Constitution.
Article 2, Section 4 of the Constitution sets out when federal officials can be removed from office through impeachment. It states the president, the vice president, and all civil officers of the United States shall be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. What it means, it applies to the president, the vice president, and all civil officers, which include federal judges and executive officers. Removal requires two-step impeachment by the House of Representatives and conviction in an impeachment trial by the Senate. The constitutionally specified grounds are treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors, a phrase historically understood to include serious abuses of official powers and not just ordinary criminal offenses. An example in practice, President Andrew Johnson and Bill Clinton were impeached by the House under the provision but acquitted by the Senate, so they were not removed. Nixon resigned when it became clear impeachment and likely convictions were imminent. So there's a tool that they can use, but they're saying impeachment, but impeachment using the tools of Article 2, Section 4 of the Constitution, which basically covers the president and all the lawlessness that has went on under his administration, with his administration, during his brief time in office. So, Vaughn, would you like to elaborate on?
Yeah, that means we got to suspend the whole not just the president. We also need to get rid of J.D. Vance. It applies to Christy Nome, Pam Bondi, and all the other people, corrupt officials in that cabinet. They need to be gone before our life is getting worse.
And right now, I think white America is in shock. And do you think they're angry enough or mad enough to come out and take that stand? Because here's the big opportunity. Here's an opportunity because our race, blacks,
We've been experiencing this for a long time. We've been experiencing it for a long time. They're not mad enough yet, but it's getting to that point. They're mad enough.
and the most terrible thing about this is that a lot of groups are coming out uh, in protest of what has just happened to this young man's murder. Like, I think the basketball players have just recently came out. The gun NRA has
The
just.
NRA, the Gun Owners of America, which was even more radical than the NRA.
Can you imagine? This young man had the right for his concealed and carry, and because he was carrying that gun, uh, which got taken away, he was gunned down. So what does that mean for the NRA? If I see them out there with a gun, on their person, then they can be gunned down
They
too.
could be gunned down, and then they could be called a domestic terrorist as gaslighting and a cover up as well to say that they're going to be killing law enforcement, which that is not true.
You notice each time these murders took place, the administration jumped out without any evidence. And what did they do?
They called them a domestic terrorist. That's what they did. They won't even and drop the investigation. They won't even let even certain entities even investigate.
The Civil Rights Commission have, what was her name in the Civil Rights Commission?
The Civil Rights Commission is Harriet Harman.
Has she done any investigations lately on?
She don't believe in civil rights. She believe in reverse discrimination for white people.
So this murder, is this reverse discrimination on whites?
It could be reverse discrimination on whites, but they're not even going to do due process of an investigation at all just to cover for a lie. If they could just do it to their own white people, well, imagine they're going to do even worse for people of color.
So there's a new redesign uh, on what?
There's a new redesign on race, okay? Where the white privilege card is over if you're broke. If you don't have no greenbacks or if you're not a white billionaire, and I'm telling you, white billionaire, then you're not, then you don't count. Your voice don't even matter.
So even when whites, and I don't think they noticed or paid attention closely to the fact that they were getting taken out all along because they had the war on
They
drugs.
had the war on drugs, but they were locking up black people and Latinos first and then taking out white people. They're just taking out their race a little bit slower than black people and Hispanics and brown people.
So the people, once the war on drugs hit in about the 70s or 80s, then the majority of the people that died around that time was who?
They were the higher druggers was white people.
But they still didn't come out. Even in the school systems, when all the kids were getting killed, and we lost a lot of black people from George Floyd to, you can just name so many went out. Then also, their killings was up in the schools, and what happened?
There was more white people that were killed during the mass shootings than black people.
So so they seem like they kind of ignored that. So now the redesign is,
If you're not, if it's also, it's not only racial, it's class and race at the same time, both at the same time. If you're not a white billionaire or a white male Christian, then you don't matter.
one of the most important points here is that the division between black and white should close the gap, because they use status. They gave whites status, whereas we didn't have status. Basically, it's saying that as a black person, we were black and poor, and as if we were labeled, we were unable to get housing, education,
Or anything, and even if you made it out, they even accuse you of a merit, of not being on based on merit or your own individual effort. There is no such thing as a self-made person. That's just the biggest lie that we need to attack right now.
But for many years, whites felt that because of their skin, they could move in more places or do more things than we could. And recently, remember when they said that they wanted white men to file what?
Recently, J.D. Vance and the head of the Human Rights Commission or the EEOC just encouraged white men to sue against DEI, okay, for reverse discrimination. So not only that, they are focusing on discrimination against white males and white Christians. They're not focused on the real discrimination, which was blacks and Latinos.
So now that these two murders have taken place, what has been a real eye opener for white America?
The real work operative for white America is that you're not anything special unless you have billions of dollars, unless you're a Peter Thiel, money,
Or Elon Musk.
or Elon Musk, or Mark Zuckerberg, or Jeff Bezos,
So
or Larry Ellison and David Ellison.
with these murders in front of in front of the world can see, because we cannot unsee what we have seen, no matter how they try to spin it. We cannot.
That's lying in their faces. That's gaslighting right there.
But lives are lost, and of course, Black America, Brown America, Beige America, we're all angry. And
We've been angry for years. We've been trying to tell you this for many years. And that's when the abolished the police movement just even came up because of that. And modern day policing came through slave patrols.
So when they said Black Lives Matter, and people felt like, they contested that and say like our lives didn't matter. So now that all of this has come out, white lives matter too. All lives matter. All lives matter. But what has happened now, something has broke. And that something that has been broken is whites are seeing themselves taken out when they didn't feel like it should be them.
No, it's supposed to be black men and Latinos that should have been killed by police, which is modern day slave patrols, which is modern day occupying power. That's what it really is.
And with the loss of this young man who had his rights stripped down even to in his death, you know, then it was so horrific that they would come out and say,
That he was a terrorist. No, he was just doing his job, even as a VA person. And that was another strike against him, too, because DJ Chi hates people that served in the military, that hates veterans.
and so could you name a few terrorists? I mean, give us an example of some terrorists that, that are really terrorists.
We know Christy Nome is a true terrorist. Another terrorist, too, is Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the disgraced son of Robert F. Kennedy. Look at the measles attack and fake science.
Well, Stephen Miller's
And,
not.
and also, too, Stephen Miller. And the worst part about Stephen Miller was that Stephen Miller is Jewish. And his family came through Nazi Germany.
But criminal terrorists, name some of them.
As for the criminal terrorists, we had child predators that are terrorists. We had talked about John Wayne Gacy and all of them before.
And, well, we can't leave out the Epstein
And
file.
we can't leave out, yes, Jeffrey Epstein. They're real terrorists. And then you had the real hate groups like the Proud Boys that are real terrorists, like Rico Tario that was Afro-Cuban that's a terrorist too.
But um, even with them showing America over and over again, and thank God for cell phones. I don't know why ICE would get out here and claim what they have claimed, and they saying, record, document, bring out your cell phones. This is a powerful tool for everybody to use to keep that camera rolling, because they've had so many angles to come out that this is almost you can't refute. It's just
You can't really refute it at all. So what they're really going to do, they're just going to lie and say, well, he was attacking law enforcement officers. That's not what happened. Or with Renee Good, he run over an ICE agent with a car. That's not true. That did not happen. She was getting away from the situation.
at this moment in time, we like to say to the family our deepest condolences, and we're truly, really sorry that you lost your son.
And you know who also owes the policy of Renee Good and Alex Petty apology? The voters that voted for this mess. Anybody that tells you that's not what we voted for, no, you voted for your hatred. Your hatred caused the mess of Renee Good and Alex Petty. You voted for this mess. This is on the voters. So the voters that voted for DJT, including the 20% of blacks, the 35% of Hispanics, they owe Alex Pretti and Renee Good an apology today.
And speaking of those 7 House Democrats who voted to keep ICE funded were Henry Cooler.
Henry Cuellar, another corrupt Democrat from Texas, Representative Cuellar, Representative Vinny Gonzalez, Hispanic from Texas.
Tom Suozzi, Laura Gillum, New York, Marie Glusenkamp Perez. Her name was Marie Glusenkamp Perez, Washington, Jared Golden, Maine, and Don Davis.
And Don Davis is a member of the Black Caucus. He a black man voting for ICE to keep the funding. That is just really disgusting right there in Don Davis. And he's a member of the Black Caucus.
And
he should be kicked out of the Black Caucus. He should be primaried out in his North Carolina seat for this.
Well, every last one of them, because basically,
Every one of
we
those
deserve better people to represent us. In a crisis like this, you're gonna vote to keep,
to keep the Gestapo, because what those 7 Democrats just did is that you just sentenced the average citizens to death. They're on the side of death.
7 voted with Republicans for the Department of Homeland Security appropriation bill, which includes continued funding for ICE through the end of the fiscal year. The overall bill totaled about $64.4 billion for DHS and kept ICE funding roughly at prior year levels, while also funding agencies like FEMA, TSA, Customs Border Protection, and the Coast Guards.
It's time to shut it down. And then here's an excuse. Representative Tom Cicero said, I voted for the current bill, not for other ICE, so that way it won't be a government shutdown. We need to shut this government down. This is just extraordinary times call for extraordinary solutions.
And Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries need to go in with a strategy because they're not my favorite people. And I don't think that they're the people for this moment in time for this fight because there should be no more negotiation because people are losing their lives. And what they need to tell.
They need to tell them, if you want the government open, release the Epstein files. You want the government open, stop funding ICE. ICE needs to be abolished. Until these two conditions are met, shut it down.
Shut all of it down.
Shut it down.
And also, you want everybody that was responsible for these deaths to be taken out, and what?
And put in prison where they really belong. They need to be under the jail. They need to be the same as pedophiles. They need to be under the jail.
These people's lives had value, and now they're gone. And there is no negotiating their life back. And so Schumer and to Jeffries, get y'all's butt in there and tell these people we're going to shut it down because, we cannot come to the table with people that's willing to say you're going to give us part of a deal, a package deal. They gave these people that died no deal.
No deal.
No deal. So no deal should be given, and the government should just be shut down and said until ICE is what?
Abolished. Until that we release the Epstein files, there will be no government opening. Shut it down.
And I mean, hold your ground when you do, because we're tired of you all going in there trying to pussyfoot around and dance and negotiate. And we're tired of the Democrats, and I'm going to say it again, the Democrats.
The corporate Democrats and the leadership.
And dealing in dark money, because that is what's screwing our side up. You got to let that shit go. We'll figure it out, but you got to let it go.
Let it die.
Because the money that's in these elections, buying people, has bought us what?
It brought us death. That's what it did. It brought us 2 people that were murdered. And Renee Good and Alex Pretti. That's what you did. And these 7 Democrats that voted this has been shown to be on the side of death, including Representative Golden. And Representative Jason Golden used to be an aide to guess who? Susan Collins of Maine.
Well, once again, I hope Jeffries and Hakeem Jeffries and Schumer, which, we need stronger leaders. And the message to you guys is your time is up. But while you all are in there, fight a good fight and stop being wimpy. Go in there and tear some ass up. And remember, no is a complete sentence. People have lost their lives, and more people are going to lose their lives. And you gotta stand on principle. You gotta stand for what you believe, and there's no negotiation.
And especially on human rights. When it comes to human liberty and human rights, you don't negotiate. That is non-negotiable. Period. Non-negotiable.
You have tools. Get people over to you. Nobody. You can't tell me that the Republicans actually signed up for this. And if they want to hold on to a person that has hid all this to keep from going to prison, has been labeled a felon, not labeled, but actually proven to be a felon, and
a child sex trafficker, they could go on to that side.
So you're saying that you're willing to hold on to your jobs? No, because people are looking at this, and white America, it's time to step out. And also, we like to give thanks to AOC for putting out a TikTok video letting us know that it is not the 25th Amendment.
Because the 25th Amendment only applies to the president of the United States. If we use the 25th Amendment, then we'll have even the worst vice president in J.D. Vance, which is one of the tech bros, which is even worse. And we need to remove the whole everything. We need to just start over.
Yeah.
From scratch. We really do.
And once again, AOC, thank you for that information. And when we make our videos, we make them off of, listening and learning, because we want to know, and we need the truth. We need all of this documented. And another person that we really is proud of in this moment in time is Jack Smith, who walks in and said, I got more, I have more evidence, or
He had more evidence beyond a reasonable doubt that he could have been a conviction, and DJT would have went to jail. If DJT did not win the presidency, he would have been to prison forever, and we would never have heard from him again.
so the bottom line on this is we have one man that can walk into uh, the in to walk into Congress uh, and be and give information and say lay it all out from A to Z,
And that's Jack Smith.
and Congress cannot even stand, you know, cannot even stand on principles, integrity, because they have none, and they have
The
left.
Republicans in Congress, especially Jim Jordan. He has no principles but to cover pedophiles.
And we're also going to give credit to uh, Justice Roberts for having a horrible legacy.
The Roger Towning legacy and Robert Taft. He is the mixture of Robert Taft and Roger Towning. That's who John Roberts is.
And he's done everything to strip our rights. And once again, we need you to read the book.
Unprecedented.
No, without
But
precedent.
without precedent. Lisa Graves. Watch her on Legal AF.
Yes. And we want to make sure that you all get the right book. Here it is. Yes, she's on Legal AF, and she's spelling it out, putting that information out there, because we said we're not coming up here without any books, without quoting or citing factual information. So, Vaughn, we're gonna take it out once again to the family of
Alex Pruitt and to
Alex Pretti
Alex Petty and Nicole Young.
no, Nicole.
Good.
Yeah.
We are very sorry for your loss of your life. And really, it is the voters that voted for DJT. They owe you a bigger apology. Big time.
Again, the elite.
And also who owes them an apology? The elite, like the Larry Ellisons, the Mark Zuckerbergs, they owe you an apology.
Well, an apology won't get it, but for years,
For years.
the elites have used
The bad elites.
the elites have used this strategy to divide whites and blacks. Okay, now the whites have seen that it is us also that is getting taken out.
That's the true money.
Here's your chance to step up. White America, come out.
Come out and be on the front lines, because we've been on the front lines for a long time. And now it's time for you guys to step up.
And to get mad.
And get mad enough. Is white America going to be mad enough to do it?
So
that's what I'm even asking myself. Are they really mad enough to do it?
So we, once again, we're gonna get out of here. We want you all to get this book
Without precedent.
because John Roberts took a big part in tearing our system up.
Robert Taft and Roger D. Towney. If Robert Taft and Roger D. Towney had a son, he would be John Roberts.
And also, let's give some credit to Mitch McConnell, because Mitch could have stopped this long time ago.
But he chose not to, because he was worried about the damn courts. When he prevented Barack Obama from getting Merrick Garland into court in the first place, which turned out to be the worst attorney general, thanks a lot, Mitch. Mitch is responsible too.
So I know people say, well, it's hard to put the blame, but
Yeah, I do put the blame on the voters. I do.
Yep.
Because when you read Project 2045, they tell you exactly what you're going to do, and you voted this guy anyway. They voted. It is on them. And also it's on the people that sat on their ass, that did nothing. I blame them too. I'm never going to forgive them. There ain't no forgiving them for this.
Okay, so that's the way you feel. And I'm glad that you spoke your piece, because this is hard. This is hard on all of us. And we also want to thank all the independent truth-telling channels.
We do truth-telling channels that is going to be needed more than ever for this time and for the next years to come.
So on that note,
On that note, we are out of here and cut the TV off like Don Lemon.
and if you like this video,
If you like the truth, subscribe. That's just it.
and we're out.
And we're